Good afternoon. I'm Don Briggs, your mayor. Today is Wednesday, February 3rd, the year 2021. Just getting used to saying that. Today my guest is Dr. Tim Trainor, president of Mount St. Mary's University. This is your second time here, sir, and thank you for coming over today. And I'm briefly going to give a little rundown on your resume, CV. Retired Brigadier General Tim Trainor formerly served as Dean and Chief Academic Officer at the United States Military Academy before retiring after 33 years service to the Army. Dr. Trainor graduated with a Bachelor's of Science degree from the U.S. Military Academy in 1983, went on to get an MBA from the Fouquet School of Business at Duke University, and a doctorate in industrial engineering from North Carolina State University. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me back.
It's great to have you here. The pandemic, then a snow avalanche, nothing to it. Most everybody is working from home, and the snow, especially the first snow, always seems to be a quiet, beautiful, and peaceful event. It's good to have you here, sir, and if I can, I'm just going to go over a couple things on the COVID update, and then we'll come right back to the interview. Roadmap to Recovery, Maryland Strong, Roadmap to Recovery, April 24th, 2020, a three-stage recovery plan has been stretched, altered, recalibrated, and the plan moves on and plays out. We have a vaccine in record time. Shots are going in arms. I had my first shot. Easy sign up, 15-minute wait. My next shot, 2:19. So I'll close that. We are at 1B, and that's people over 75. That gives away one of my dark secrets of my age. But the 1C below that, the next level has not been opened yet. The second surge of the coronavirus 19 looks to have peaked out, maybe. I'll ask the president if that has the same take as that. It is and was devastating. As of November 18th last year, 8.5 months into the pandemic, Emmitsburg, zip code 21727, had 87 positive cases. And if we divide that roughly by 250 days, that's less than 1%. That's 0.03% for the 250 days. As of this date, yesterday, February 2nd, Groundhog Day, 75 days roughly, are 240 cases in 75 days. That's 3.9 per day. So that was startling. And it came right after the holidays and people getting together, so it had a lot to do with it. As of this morning, Frederick County has 15,759 positive cases and 240 deaths, and 8 probable related deaths. In our zip code, we have 329 confirmed cases. ICU demand is same, acute beds up, total beds up. Again, the Frederick County Health Department will not give any further details. Thank you for taking the time to join us, President. And I feel like we're in it's either a hockey, you're opposing hockey player or something. I mean, this is drastic. We haven't had a chance to use this yet because we're trying to keep everybody as far apart as possible during this thing. So, and our building is closed and things like that. If I could, just tell us about the Mount, the COVID, and your reopening.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, thank you for having me on. Okay. And I hope you and all the good people of Emmitsburg and their families are safe and healthy during these tough times. You know, it is tough times, but we're all going to get through this. We will all, don't lose hope. We will all get through this. We had a successful fall semester. We were able to bring students back to campus and had them on campus until November 20th, the last day of classes. And so, we had cases, but we were able to make it work. We had a very aggressive testing program, isolation of our students who were infected, and it worked. We were able to do that. So we learned from it, and we made adjustments to our protocols, and so we started bringing students back again in January. So we spread out return. So our students and seminarians returned over about a 2-week period in mid to late January. We did 100% testing of all of them. We did testing of our employees, and we started classes successfully on the 28th of January. Of course, then this snow hit, but we're still making, we're able to do those classes remotely, and students are back in the classroom today. We've done, I mentioned before, we do aggressive testing. So we have done, since the 1st of January, we have done over 2,000 COVID tests on campus of students, seminarians, and employees. And our current 7-day positivity rate is 1.2%. Now, I compare that with Frederick County's current 7-day positivity rate is 5.9%. So both are relatively low. Ours is obviously quite low, and that's great, and we keep working at it. We do have some cases. We have 12 student cases and 2 employee active cases right now, but we have them all isolated and close contacts quarantined. So so far it's going pretty well. We are with vaccines. You mentioned vaccines before, and I'm very happy you were able to get a vaccine. Our employees are considered in phases 1B and 1C so far, and we're using the county health department to be our provider for the vaccines, and they have just been wonderful throughout this time and throughout the whole pandemic, and helping us with testing and now vaccines. So far, we were able to get 17 of our employees vaccinated last Saturday at the county site, and we hope to get more vaccinated soon. It's just, the vaccines are in short supply right now, but the county health department is working it hard. I've offered to the county health department to host a mass vaccination site at the Mount for people in northern Frederick County, and they are considering us. They've done one initial meeting with us, and we're continuing that discussion. They just don't have enough vaccine now to open up a site up in this area. So, but we have offered, and we will be prepared if the county calls on us to open up our site, and hopefully the good people of Emmitsburg will be able to use that site if they haven't gotten the vaccine by then. So we're working on that. And I would just encourage everybody to get the vaccine when it's available, because this is really the only way we're going to truly get past this pandemic, is if people get vaccinated. So that's where we're at. We're working it hard, and we're going to continue working it hard, and plan to be here until May and to hold some form of graduation ceremony then.
Fantastic.
On May 15th.
How about sports this spring?
Yeah, great question. We're doing sports right now. Our basketball teams have been playing. So right now we have basketball playing, both men and women. Unfortunately, we can't have fans at the games, but we do have basketball ongoing. They are under very rigorous NCAA Division I testing protocols. So our teams, the basketball teams and coaches, all go through COVID testing 3 times a week. So we're very careful about that, and that's working. We also, our women's bowling team is in competition now. They had their first competition 2 weekends ago, and our new men's water polo team had their first competition also a couple of weeks ago, and they are hosting their first ever water polo competition at the Mount on Saturday. Wow. So those are going on. We are going to do a limited season for our fall sports teams who couldn't play in the fall. We are going to do a limited season for them, starting in later February and going through March and April, and into May in some cases. And our spring teams, we do have a plan to do their seasons also. We have very strict protocols and guidelines, both from the NCAA, from our Northeast Athletic Conference, and from the county and state health regulations. Of course, the Mount ones, we're following those. So far, so good, and we hope to continue that process. And it's important because one of the things we found from the fall is just enabling our teams to practice, not compete, but practice, enable them to have that cohort and that bonding. And they had an average GPA in the fall semester, our teams, of a 3.2 or higher than the average GPA of the overall student body. And so that's a positive aspect. So I'm glad you asked me about that.
Thank you, sir. We're hearing a lot about diversity and equity, and I know there have been changes in the population over at the university, and we've always had a real good bond with our small diversity here in town, a strong history. But tell me about the amount of the population change.
Yeah, no, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And it has been, the Mount has evolved, the demographics of the Mount, both at the seminary and the student population, has changed drastically over the last several years. So we've, for the undergraduate population, we've gone from 17% to 43% students of color in the last 10 years, with most of that change happening in the last 5. And that shift is consistent with the demographic changes in the state of Maryland, from which we draw 60% of our student body. So it is just consistent with that growing diversity. And what's neat about that is our wonderful growing diversity enables us to help educate students on how to live, learn, worship, and thrive in a global and diverse society. But that growth and change over time, like any change, has had some friction points, and including with the townspeople, both in this area and in surrounding communities. And so I'd just like to talk about that for a moment, and would like help from everybody on this. Over the past few years, some of our employees and students have experienced some unfortunate incidents of racial hatred, both in Emmitsburg and in surrounding communities, and on campus. Some have been on the receiving end of people shouting racial slurs out their car windows as they're driving down the main road, and people and our students and employees of color are walking on the streets. And it's obviously unfortunate and very, very unnecessary and hateful. And we have had, as recently as October, someone drive on campus in a car, see a group of students, and yell the N-word out the window at them, and then speed off. Unfortunately, we've not been able to identify the perpetrators and who's doing these hateful things, but I do know that they're cowards. Every person is a precious child of God who has inherent dignity, and therefore should be treated with dignity and respect. And that's what we're trying to do on campus, is to teach folks how to do that. And so I'm asking for everybody's help. The wonderful people of Emmitsburg and all the surrounding communities. I'm just asking for help in making all of our employees and our students, particularly those of color, to feel welcomed and feel like they belong in this environment. And I appreciate everybody's commitment to that.
Well, thank you, sir. It just, we need to really work on it. It's constant, and there is a subconscious to the way we're brought up sometimes. On another note, there's talk about a lot of things you're doing over there, like sports complex and all those things like that. Could you talk about those, please? Yeah.
Sure, we've had a lot of, we've had a number of construction projects. I'll mention those first. We built a student activity center called the Palmieri Activity Center about 18 months ago, and that's been open. We've just recently built a small pavilion building to do multi-purpose activities, and it's right by the right by Echo Field there. Right now, we're using it for expanded space for dining, for students to sit and eat because we have growing enrollments and, we're spacing out of Patriot Hall, particularly in this COVID arena environment where you have to spread people out. So we're using it for that. We are preparing to build another 29-bed cottage. We have a little complex of cottages, which right now house 10 students. We have 4 of them that house 10 students, actually 5 that house about 10 students. But we're building a 2-story one starting soon to be open in the fall because we need the extra space. That'll be 29 beds. We are getting ready we have already started a major renovation and expansion of the Not Academic Center where our Bolt School of Business and College of Liberal Arts are. And so we're doing those projects. And we've got an expansion of putting the Rooney Athletic Performance Center and tennis courts. We're doing some expansion of those starting here in the next several months. So we're excited about that. We are working on a plan to get an urgent care center up in this part of the county that would both serve our student population primarily, but also would be open to our employees and to the people and to the residents of Northern Frederick County. So we're working on that. We're close to a deal on that. We're not quite there, but we hope to get that where somebody will come in and build it on our campus, and then. But like I said, it will be open to the public and to the good people of Emmitsburg. We also are in the finalization of a deal where we've sold a little bit of our land on the south piece, 152 acres of our land on the southeast corner of the Mount property, on the out by Motter Station Road on the east side of Route 15. We've sold 152 acres of that land to the county, Frederick County, who will build a county park. And they're planning to do millions of dollars of investment in a county park there over the next several years. And, so we're looking forward to that. And as it being a great place for folks in this area to both use the facilities and to bring people to this part of the county. And then finally, a big effort we're working on is to bring to life a School of Health Professions out at the campus of the Seton Shrine, doing this in partnership with the Daughters of Charity, kind of building on the ethos and the history of both of our organizations. The Mount has had a long history of service and educating people to do service to others. The Daughters of Charity, with their founding by Mother Seton, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, over 200 years ago, the wonderful work that they do, and they have been doing both in education and in healthcare over the years. We're putting both of the goodness of both organizations together to develop a School of Health Professions where we're going to educate the next ethical leaders for various healthcare professions. And we're working this to open this school out here in town on the Seton Shrine campus of the Seton Shrine. And so we have a ways. We got I still got to raise a fair amount of money to bring that to life, but I'm confident we'll be able to bring that to life in the next few years and get that going. So we're excited by that. So those are some of the things we've got ongoing, and a number of those obviously I think will benefit the good people of Emmitsburg and the surrounding area.
Well, glad we're playing basketball again.
Yeah.
It seems like you have a NCAA potential champion in the bowling team. Is that correct?
That's correct. Well, they're ranked number 12 in the country right now. So, so they have to go. They have a few tournaments, and in March the NEC championships will take place, and hopefully they'll advance from there.
I had the opportunity to meet the coach, and he's a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir. I'm going to come back to you in a few minutes. I just want to go over a couple more things if I could. We finished out last year with an award, the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Award from the Frederick County Office of Economic Development for providing interested business owners a list of local, state, and federal incentives and showing potential business owners a list of open properties. We received that in late December. In January, only in ourstates.com, Emmitsburg, one of the 10 most beautiful, charming towns in Maryland. That's only in our town, in ourstate.com, and that really is a tribute to a lot of effort and patience on the part of our citizens who had to put up with flagging and one-lane traffic and everything. We're getting a downtown done and all the sidewalks and the bridge there. We have numerous grants in the works, ranging from two mini pic pavilions in the park, community park, $30,000, and doing dugouts and all kinds of things like that. But we have about 10 of those in thing. At the January meeting, we have 4 more wayside exhibits coming. John Armstrong, American Long Rifle in East Maine, the Emmitsburg Railroad, South Seaton, Volunteers Mural in front of the Community Center, South Seaton, and Historic St. Joseph House on South Seaton. The daughters will be also adding one at that same time. Town offices are closed. Our regularly scheduled February meeting was postponed to the 15th. Excuse me. And that will be 15th at 7:30. It will be a virtual meeting. Next week we'll have Mark Lancaster, a certified green builder, former chairman of the Frederick County Sustainability Commission will be our guest. He's also a graduate of the Mount. And he's a wonderful person. Builds a beautiful house. Let's see if there's anything else I want to bring. Looking for bellwethers. It looks like Rutter's is done. They've gotten all their approvals, and they'll start. So what remains right now is we need to do some seeding and grading down by the bridge on the north side, and also we're going to start work on Irishtown Road. Ryan Holmes is back in town, and before they even opened their office, I think they had 10 sales, so they're going fast to finish out that development up there. A nice slow melt is not what we'd like, maybe, but it's really good for replenishing our ground table water. And again, please watch your use of water. We're just pulling out of the drought, and it's starting to look really good. Dr. Trainor, any final comments for the good of the order, sir?
Well, I'd just like to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for all you do to help the Mount and the good people of Emmitsburg. You know, you do such tremendous things and hard work, and we're fortunate to be partners with you and the town, and look forward to continuing great relationships. So thank you. I hope everyone stays safe and healthy.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate that. It's an honor to have you here today. Punxsutawney Phil's prediction is for 6 more weeks of winter. That was yesterday, groundhog. It's less than 50 days until spring, so I guess just bring it on. Anything you throw at it, we'll take it after this thing.
That's right.
Super Bowl, what is it, 55? Who do you have, sir?
Well, I'm going to pull for the Bucks.
Pardon?
I'm going to pull for the Buccaneers.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. How about Dr. Franklin?
Oh, gosh, I know. He's pulling for the Chiefs. Yeah, he's a big Chiefs fan, and I understand he'll probably be mad at me for saying that, but we have a connection with the Buccaneers, so always like to pull for the underdog.
Very, very good. Well, I thank, once again, on behalf of all of us here, myself, the commissioners, our staff, and our residents, thank you for taking the time to come here, and we'll have you on in the spring if you'll be.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I look forward to it. So again, thank you for having me. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Go
All
Mount.
right. Have a wonderful day, and be careful out there. Look for black ice and things like that. But thank you for tuning in. Have a good day.